Now, with it being spooky season, I thought it'd be very topical to talk about my favorite horror genre, which is German Expressionism. Now, some of you might not know what German Expressionism is, so allow me to explain. German Expressionism originated in Germany in the early 20th century. From about 1919 to 1927, there were many films that encapsulated German Expressionist qualities, such as very expressive faces of the actors and gothic sensibilities in those films. Now, even if you have not seen a German Expressionist film yourself, you've definitely seen films that have been heavily influenced by German Expressionism, such as most of Tim Burton's films, and also every horror movie that's made nowadays, since German Expressionism was the very first exposure to horror, at least in film. Now, something to note about the facial expressions in these films is, at this point in time, all these films were silent, and so they couldn't use their voice to convey what they wanted to say. They had to only rely on their facial expressions to tell the story. And so that's been very influential to horror as a whole, as the facial expressions in these films are extremely expressive, to where you don't even really need the subtitles to understand what's going on. You immediately understand what's going on just by their facial expressions and the way that they're carrying their body language. Now, if I was to recommend two German Expressionist films, I recommend Nosferatu and Metropolis, as both these films were incredibly influential to their respective genres. Nosferatu was incredibly influential to horror as a whole, and Metropolis was incredibly influential to sci-fi.